In the historic Times Square, there was a guy flexing his glutes and declaring that he would open a flower shop at any cost. With his impressive appearance and demeanor, one might think he'd become a fighter, but instead, he wanted to be a flower seller. This was something he could never achieve because if his father even heard the words flower seller, he would tear him apart. While confiding in his best friend about his life goals, a scar-faced guy barged in, asking who was the boss around here. Two tough guys stepped in, looking to collect some protection money, giving our main character a pat on the shoulder as a greeting. With their dumbfounded faces, they were greeted by the adorable demeanor of our main character. Instead of robbing, they got robbed by him. Back to his dream, since he couldn't achieve it in the real world, he decided to do it in another world, not reincarnated, but in a game. He entered a coffin-like box and lay down sexy, waiting to log in, unsure if he would get molested. After some electric jolts, he entered the game and chose the hardest newbie map that no one had ever completed, Lucky Forest, where he hoped to open a flower shop for his life. As soon as he arrived, before his butt could warm up, he was invited to join some shady guild. However, with his impressive demeanor, the person inviting him was scared off, saying he could do whatever he wanted, just don't punch him. Then, our main character looked at the little flowers with a lecherous smile. I can open a flower shop, he. Imagine a muscular guy who loves flowers but is allergic to them wanting to open a flower shop, how ironic. Holding a bunch of flowers in his hands, he looked like a demo emitting an intense killing aura, exclaiming, "Daddy's in heaven, damn it." After caressing the flowers, he acquired a new skill, botany, helping him identify the names and characteristics of the plants he touched. The path to becoming the greatest flower seller of all time lay before him. Like other game addicts, he buried his head in grinding skills by touching everything in sight, earning the title of a newbie chicken beginning to observe the world without knowing what to do with it. Nonetheless, he was delighted, as his handsome and excited look almost made a girl pee her pants in admiration. Back on the path to becoming a flower seller, our main character ventured deeper into the forest and encountered a field of bright green flowers. Strangely, a bud in the center refused to bloom. This reminded him of his turbulent childhood memories of playing rock music to make flowers bloom. As usual, the memories were not pleasant when some jerk stepped on his precious flower just because he planted some cannabis on the roof. At that moment, 3 hearts were broken. The little flower cried, our main character cried, and the jerk cried the loudest as he was taken to the hospital. The painful memories didn't bring him down. He was determined to cultivate flowers once more, knowing that with his clumsy skills, he could only damage the flower rather than making it bloom naturally. He decided to seek help from the nearby elf village. Unfortunately for him, elves didn't like humans much. Upon meeting him, they switched to combat mode. 2 elves attacked him, feeling deeply insulted when he said they looked like monsters. Enraged, he pouted and engaged in close combat. With the experience trained by his master over the years, he dodged all punches and countered his opponents. However, his level was too low, making his attacks as effective as mosquito bites on stainless steel. The coward on the sidelines didn't help but made fun of him, causing our main character to cry. Seeing him cry miserably, the elves stopped attacking. He claimed to be human, but they didn't believe anyone could be as ugly as him. After seeing his sincerity, they reluctantly used their dog-like sense of smell to verify and recognized the scent of a flower seller on him. He explained that he wanted to save the life of a flower, which they didn't believe. Frustrated, he had to say he was trying to make a blue flower bloom, making them turn pale, afraid of his prowess. Meanwhile, the purple-haired girl who was scared by him earlier turned out to be another player exploring the forest. Remembering their encounter made her blush, as she wandered through the forest hoping to catch an elf boy. Spotting a handsome one, she shined and chased after a few but was completely ignored. Back to our main character. After successfully showing off, he became friends with the elves who greeted him warmly. They even played music for him. They led him to a giant tree, telling him to meet their queen. Our main character showcased his singing talent and almost wooed the queen, making the elves idolize him. The queen also joined the fun, and finally, in this ridiculous game, our main character received his first newbie quest to make the blue flower bloom. To start the quest, he tried using his charm to scare the flower into blooming, but it refused. Unwilling to give up, he spent days pouring his heart out to the flower, using persuasive words like top-tier idols to manipulate fans, but it didn't work. From intimidation to befriending, like a poor but sincere guy, he used the method of persistent dripping, asking daily if it had eaten, how it felt, wishing it a good night, and hoping it would dream of him. Finally, the bud, annoyed by his persistence, trembled and bloomed into a beautiful flower. Damn, it was like jasmine on cow dung, but whatever. After it bloomed, the flower even sprayed water everywhere, surprisingly green, leaving our main character dumbfounded. Of course, having the flower bloom for him meant it was his responsibility, not that he had to take care of a child, but his heart belonged to him. The substance sprayed into him, making him the heir to the master grower of the life, and completing this ridiculously difficult newbie quest. He returned to the elf village to turn in the quest and found the elves partying wildly without inviting him. Luckily, he returned in time and was crowned with a beautiful wreath by a pretty elf girl. After some grumbling about the world's destruction and giving him another annoying quest, the queen took out his newbie quest reward, a legendary-level flower-shaped necklace. Initially, he wanted to curse her, but seeing its legendary status, he decided to forgive her. The first part ends here. Stay tuned to see if our main character can achieve his dream of becoming a transcontinental flower seller.